Today on FSI, we are breaking down the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns from a betting perspective. Now, we are currently 24-8 on our official moves through Twitter, so make sure you're following that account. I'm your host, Tom Cross, and to my right is our analytics expert, Stephen Fu.
Thanks for tuning in this week. The Ravens are on the road as a 1-point favorite. They're minus 120 on the money line, and the Browns, they are even money.
So let me get this straight. The Ravens played on Tuesday, and the Browns just beat a very hot Tennessee Titans team, and they scored 41 points, and they're the underdog at home? Man, they must know something that we don't know. Now, I think the public is going to be on the Browns here, and of course, maybe some of the sharps, they'll back Baltimore.
Both the Browns and the Ravens had Week 13 wins, but this game has big implications on the Ravens' playoff potential. Now, the book is not giving the Browns any respect at home, making them underdog against their division opponent. The Browns have a better 9-3 record compared to the Ravens' 7-5 record, so I'm very shocked by the opening line.
Quarterback Baker Mayfield had his best game of the season or his career. He had 4 touchdowns in the first half, and he was placing the ball anywhere that he wanted to. Now, he is going to be facing a tough Ravens secondary, as that is one of the best in the league at just causing turnovers, period. Mostly fumbles, surprisingly. So this week might be a tough week against the Ravens, so it's going to be interesting to see how good he really is.
Lamar Jackson is nowhere close to his MVP season. His passing efficiency is very poor, passing with only 7 yards per throw. He has also struggled tremendously in his last 2 games, only 180 yards against the Titans and 107 yards against Dallas. Jackson will obviously look to run the ball as the main point of the offense.
Now, the best part of the Browns team is their offensive line. They've been creating holes for the running backs and protecting Baker Mayfield, who did get raped over the last 2 seasons. But Baltimore's defensive line is weak. They have not been one of the better teams in the league. And against the Titans, they actually got an F. And I actually believe that the Titans allow a lot of pressure, maybe not a lot of sacks, but a lot of pressure. And they are one of the worst in the league. So advantage to the Browns in this aspect.
The Ravens' pass protection has been inconsistent all season. They're giving up a sack rate of 8.5%, which is above the league average, so they're not performing that well in this area. But lucky for them, the Browns have a weak pass rush. They're only getting to the quarterback 6.5%.
Let's face it, the Browns are better without Odell Beckham. And the reason why is that they're not so predictable. You don't know whether the ball is going to Landry or one of their tight ends or the secondary receiver or maybe Kareem Hunt out of the backfield. At the end of the day, they are more unpredictable without Odell in the lineup, so they are better. Now, when you look at the Ravens secondary, they are one of the best in the league at creating turnovers on fumbles. Also, they're very good at coverage. They got 3 or 4 defensive backs that could make the Pro Bowl as well. So advantage to the Ravens here.
The top 2 options for the Ravens will be Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews. While I think they're both solid options on offense, neither of them is performing well enough to be a true number 1 option. The Browns' pass defense is performing at the league average, giving up 7.2 yards per pass. So the Ravens will have a few opportunities to pass the ball here.
I think last week the Browns proved that they're the best rushing team in the NFL. They were able to beat out Derrick Henry with the combination of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, which is the best 1-2 punch in the league. Now, they are going to be facing a Ravens defensive line that is mediocre against the run. without Matt Judon and some of their best players, they do struggle at the end of the day. And even when they are on the field, they are mediocre at best. So advantage here to the Browns.
The Ravens will use rushing as the main focus of their offense. They're currently the league's most efficient running team, generating 5.2 yards per rush. Now the Browns, they are above average in run defense, but they're nowhere near a top-tier run defense.
Now, both defenses are bad, in my opinion, except the Ravens do something very special. They are able to have a lot of shutdown cornerbacks. But when you look at the offensive lines, the Browns' offensive line is better than the Ravens. Now, at quarterback, I still like Lamar Jackson over Baker Mayfield, and they do have similar weapons in this matchup. Both have good tight ends. Both have one good receiver. So at the end of the day, I'm actually going to go ahead and close my eyes and take the Ravens because they have been more dominant in this matchup. They won the first game of the season and they just got their number. I think they really get into the heads of the Browns. So advantage here for the Ravens.
The Browns have improved tremendously on offense, but their defense still doesn't have a true identity. Their defense does not excel in any particular area, so I think they're going to struggle against this Ravens offense. They should be completely healthy with this week with all their starters returning from injuries and COVID. So I'm taking the Ravens -1 in this matchup.
Now remember, we can't predict PEDs, injuries, weather, or COVID, so make sure you follow our Twitter for our official moves. We're 24-8 there. That does it for us. Do me a favor, smash the like button and subscribe. Tell us who you're going to be taking in the comments below.
We don't care about favorite teams here. Our focus is on making you money. Follow our social media on Twitter, Instagram, or our webpage. The links are below.